we are noting it down, we are understanding, but when we are doing revision, we are missing something. Live stream started, sir. We can start.
Okay, right. Thank you. So last class we have seen what an all ports theory. So we have his contribution is definition of personality traits, and as is against the mass theory, he proposed his own theory instead of ego. He thought out the self theory, and then traits which are inherited, and classified them. How habits are converted into the traits, how traits are converted into types, we discussed in the last class. Then different traits like cardinal, central, and secondary traits we discussed, and how the functions of the self are developed, that also we have seen. Then development of the self functions. Then what is a healthy personality and functional autonomy. Here autonomy means independence or freedom to function. Freedom function to what? To function to the self. Freedom from what? From the past. Because Freud told that past determines. He says that it is the autonomy from the past that determines. This is just review of, and what is a healthy person? The characteristics also we discussed. And I sent last week the scale of self-actualization of Maslow. Anybody did it? I posted in the group.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So once you do that, you will understand what are the levels and what is the hierarchy, where we got stuck, where we are having the strength and where we are having the weakness. That can be known. It can be administered to any person. So now we see unit number 23. Then you will see unit number 24. What is unit number 23?
Cattle's factors analytic theory.
Yeah. So most of the psychologists call it as a cattle, but it is cattle. Cattell. Please don't write cattle in the examination, the spelling. You will not get marks. So this is very important. Most of the invigilators also check this one. So coming back to this theory, unit number 23, page number 214 in my book. Mine is old book. So we will see some background so that we can easily remember. Karen Harney's story we have studied, and Maslow's story we studied. And each psychologist's background we studied because we can remember them well. This theory very well. Here, let us see what is Raymond Cattell's background. Their family is scientific instrument manufacturing or developing family. So in the childhood, he got the penchant towards the scientific temper and investigation into the root cause of anything. So that approach made him to study this intelligence of person and personality of an individual. Because he studied under Charles Spearman, who is a well-known statistician and a psychologist. Spearman gave us two-factor theory of intelligence, general factors and specific factors. There he used, either people say he invented this factor analysis. Factor analysis is one wherein different variables contribute to particular internal concepts or construct within us. These constructs are not visible to us. By observing what he studied is, he studied the general knowledge, English, reasoning, mathematics, All these put together, they are the factors, the variables which contribute to the factor of general intelligence. There are internal aspects are there, but there are set to those internal aspects. The internal aspects are called factors. The variables we can observe outside, meaning that whatever we do in the examination or questionnaire or exhibit our behavior, observable behavior, they will be quantified. And from this observation, from these variables, observed variables related to the mathematics or English or grammar, spelling, are put together, they will be quantified. Whatever observable variables are there, they will be quantified and factor analysis will be done. That we will discuss briefly after this. And we try to identify internal features, internal variables, which we call the factors that contribute to particular construct, like maybe intelligence, maybe a trait, maybe personality, maybe temperament, whatever you want to study, maybe a security of the godown or security of the old people. Every field in the science, maybe in the industry, they use this to measure these concepts. What are unknown factors that are contributing to these particular observable phenomena is studied through factor analysis. There are no independent variables or dependent variables. Only these variables are interrelated together. Both may, when we understand the variance or covariance or correlationship, we understand that both are having some type of positive or negative relationship. That means they are having similarity. The variables that are having similarities are clubbed. In the last class, we have seen cleanliness, where a person in different situation uses the cleanliness like face, mouthwash, face wash, dressing, cleaning, bathing, all these very different in different situations. A person is using the cleanliness as is a trait. Where it is not clearly seen what is there within his mind or thought process. That is internal aspect. We are seeing that from the observable cleanliness activities one is doing, that is observable variables. From the observable variables, we found out the driving force or motivation behind them, that we call as the trait. That is what Gordon Allport also told. And many scientists, Gordon Allport, Spearman, Thurston, Guilford, who gave all these people gave intelligence also. Intelligence, they used this factor analysis theory. In fact, different types of factor analysis there. The only thing you have to remember is from the observable phenomena, we convert them into variables, and that will be quantified through certain questionnaires or certain values we derive. For each observable phenomena, we derive 5 questionnaires, like maybe depression, we call worthlessness, lack of self-interest, lack of energy, hopelessness, helplessness, lack of interest in the life. So many observable features are there. From these observable variables, we find out a trait that is nothing but depression. Depression is a trait there having all these variables. So naming, after identifying particular phenomena or a variable that we call it also as a variable or a factor within us, we have to name it. For naming that, the scientists will discuss with different people and finalize it, and also ask others to verify it. And then they finalize this as a particular trait being contributed by particular habits or routines or behaviors which are consistent, reliable, trustworthy. Okay, this is how the background for the factor analysis. Because he studied with Spearman, who applied factor analysis, rather invented factor analysis, and gave the concept of the theory of two-factor theory of intelligence, generalized and specific factors in the intelligence. The intelligence theory He also studied as a student of Spearman. Cattell also studied intelligence, gave the theory. What are the two factors? What he gave regarding the intelligence? Can anybody tell? I will tell crystallized. Second one is fluid intelligence. Crystallized is knowledge, and fluid is generally, it is whatever experience either two we are having, that we would disregard and identify a solution or a probable answer to particular or a probable behavior to be adopted, not from the previous experiences. Fluid intelligence is beyond our experience. That's why many people call it as a feature of creativity. So crystallized intelligence is a knowledge or general knowledge, which is used for different aspects. So this theory he gave, he also gave intelligence theory. Then he wanted to study the personality. What is the personality? What is the structure of person? He wanted to study, because of the family background of scientific temper, he wanted to study from scientific angle. Science means measurement. Measurement means mathematics. Mathematics means quantification. Quantification means numbers. So whatever behavior we are exhibiting, that must be quantified and made into variables, and then find out the factors for the personality. This is his opinion and thought, and he implemented that also. We can call him from birth to death. I think he lived for 92 years. He continuously applied factor analysis and scientific applications for psychology. One way you can call him as a Ramanujan of psychology. So entire theory, whatever he brought out, he says that in order to understand personality, anybody studies without factor analysis is a fool. He is such a mad of factor analysis and prizes the factor analysis in such a manner. So he is for numbers and scientific application. Also, he wanted to study the forecasting of the behavior. Once you know how a particular person is behaving in a particular
Sorry to disturb. Which topic we are going, sir? Which unit?
unit number 23.
Okay, thank you.
Details, personality theory. So he wanted to predict the behavior from the observable behavior, and we were converting them into. He found out a equation for predicting the behavior. That also we study. Then he says that instead of studying the individual, it is better to study group of people. Because he went against the Gordon Allport, because Allport did not use scientific applications or formulas or verifications. He used lexicon. Lexicon means dictionary. From the dictionary, he found out adjectives, 4 lakhs words, convert into 18,000 or 17,953 words for a behavior. Good, bad, cruel, benevolent. Like many words, adjectives are there for our behavior. He converted them into 44,500 and found out the traits common from the common behavior. Now he says, Raymond Cattell says, we have to use scientific application and reduce them further. It is vague. We cannot understand clearly the theory of Gordon Allport, because it is highly qualitative, not quantitative. So he wanted to convert it to quantitative approach. And Gordon Allport studied individuals. And here, Cattell wanted to study groups in order to find out he wanted to find out common features for many people in their personalities. This is the crux of his approach. So he applied empirical method. He observed unbiased observation is there. He did experimentation. So he gathered a lot of information, and heaps of books and papers were there in his room. When enters into his room, people never found him directly. He was there behind some crop of books or papers, working on the factor analysis of behavior, identification of behavioral patterns. So he went into the poverty. His wife also left him because of that poverty. And despite of that, he went on working, and finally came out with the 16 personality factors theory. And after getting that theory, he wanted to experiment it. He wanted to identify the 16 factors. In order to do factor analysis, we need computers. So he is not having computer. Then there was a first computer developed by University of Illinois in USA. He got job there as a professor because electronic computer was there, fabricated there. He wanted to use it for his furtherment of his study on personality. By the time he reached there, he found that the Gordon Allport is also working as a professor there. So against whom he developed his theory is also there. So along with him, once there was a UGC net question about this, we need which three people worked in, great people worked in University of Illinois simultaneously. Gordon Allport, Henry Murray, who gave TAT, thematic person test. I think it is there in the second year. Needs theory, he is very famous. And then William Sheldon, he gave the theory of, anybody tell? Theory of which type? He gave a type theory. We will see in the next class that we will postpone. But these three stalwarts who worked on personality are there. Okay. So now he also developed an approach, a tool in the statistics called as multi-abstract variance analysis in order to his own contribution to the psychology of statistics in order to assess whether particular trait is inherited from parents or contributed by the environment. For each factor, each of the factors or the types, what is the contribution of the parents or forefathers? What is the contribution of environment to particular factor like intelligence? Say he says that around 80% is from genetic, 20% is from environment. Like that, he made the study and contributed to the psychology. So ultimately, he developed personality theory. For that personality theory, he developed many scales to measure the personality or behavior of children, adolescents, adults, particular occupation-wise also, he developed many scales. One among them is 16 personality factor questionnaire, very famous. It is to identify the personality, not the personality disorders. One question frequently asked is this: it is not having the paranoid personality or OCD, OCPD, such diseases are not, psychopathological diseases are not measured in this questionnaire. Then now we will see about his key concept. One great, we have to remember this person is, there are three scientists from psychology who are frequently quoted. Maximum, highest quotations, citations are there of these people's writings or work. First one is Sigmund Freud. He as usually will be there. Who can anybody tell who is second and third? Good, excellent. Who is the other one? We are going to study next class. That is excellent. Please remember so that you can. It will become a hint to remember his theory also. So now, what we will study about his personality theory. One is his personality traits and structure of the traits. Personality trait and structure of traits, number one. Number two, personality dimensions. Factor analysis, 16 personality factors, how they are arrived. Third one is, can we predict behavior? For that, here he gave us a specific equation, looks like an extension of, we'll stop there. Next, fourth one is development of personality, how it happens in stages, and psychopathology, how it develops. These are 5 concepts we develop in our class. Then first definition, what we give for the traits is, traits are stable, predictable characteristics of a person, reflects a person's ability to respond consistently across situations or circumstances over the time. So it is a predictability is there, relatively constant is there, relatively stable is there, relatively consistency. These words we have to use while defining the traits. So whatever we observe, ultimately for the observed behavior, different elements in our behavior regarding emotions, maybe cognitive aspect, maybe behavioral aspect, maybe motivational aspect, maybe mood aspect, maybe problem solving aspect, maybe the creativity angle. For these observable behaviors, converting them into values, he wanted to apply factor analysis to identify internal elements called as factors which drive these behaviors, but observable behaviors. These are factors are nothing but internal constructs. When we combine related variables, observable variables, what we converted into quantification, maybe through questioning, maybe through observation, quantification is done. For that, all related variables are compared one with the other. Correlation is done. If correlation is established, then the internal factor, what is driving these 5 or 6 observable common factors, is identified. That internal factor is named as maybe introversion, extraversion, perfection person, nice person, neat person. These naming of these factors will be there. From these factors, personality is described. This is how he did it. I will repeat because very important. We must have clarity on that so that we can understand it and then write the examination very well. You cannot write wrong answer here. Don't use that independent variable. He did a lot of research. Dependent variable. Don't never use independent dependent variable. There is no concept like that in this study, in this research. He only compared one variable with the other. Changes, variances he observed. It is study of variance and the covariance or correlationships. So coefficient of correlationship will be +1 or -1. In this, there is a standardization only between -1 and 1 that figure will be coming to the correlation. From that we can say, having commonalities, we can find out the common factors. So for this he need lot of data. How he collected the data? Generally, this question is asked. We have to write that. Here, he says that he derived the data from further research. He collected data. What are the data sources? Number one is L data. Second one is T data. Third one is Q data. L means life data. Q means questionnaire data. T means test data or the objective test, he will do it, or experiment and test in the life. From these two, test data is derived. Life data is nothing but it includes your demographic elements like name, age, sex, birthplace, date of birth, all this location. Not only that one, in everyday life behavior, you will record it. From old records in the school, old records in the family, health records, and school records, any particular event-related records, life records, he collected the data on the group. He studied on the group, not on the individuals, because he wanted to study the observable behavior. Instead of one person, he observed the behavior of different persons, converted them into the variables. So measuring their characteristics of the real world is one's real world that is there in the family, maybe on the road, when accident happened, how you behave, when to self-accident happened, how you behave, such records he collected. So this is actual data of the life. Number one is Q data. he used to give the questionnaire, frame the questionnaire. I told that there should be minimum uh, 5 questions for each of the observable variable. So neatness or cruel behavior or violent, destructive, restlessness or gregarious, social, impulsive, whatever word you are using, the adjective to the behavior. For that, we need 5 questions for each one. And then that will be converted into a value. This is questionnaire data, Q data. There could be direct questioning also. This is self-rating will be there. Self-report will be there. Okay, this is what is the data collected, most frequently asked question in the different examinations. From this data, he used factor analysis. What is the purpose of factor analysis is, we reduce the data. First one is reduction of the large data by finding the commonalities and duplicates. Duplicates are removed. If once you know the commonality, you may remove or classify them. One is reduction, then classification means segregating into the group, then naming them, and then summarizing them. These concepts, these activities are then factor analysis. In factor analysis, we identify whether particular internal concept, for example, depression. 2 major elements that contribute to lack of interest in the life, feeling of worthlessness. These 2 are major elements. They combinedly together form the character depression. So there is a commonality. Some features, they entirely contribute, independently they contribute to particular factor or a trait. In Mahatma Gandhi, we did non-violent. That is cardinal trait, what Alport told, that becomes unique, independent, that itself tells of a person or a trait. So there is no commonality. The combination of different traits or behaviors, common behaviors are not, specific behaviors are not contributing to that. Single trait is contributing to that. So that is called orthogonal. If combination is coming, generally we call it as oblique. So now we see next one's data we have seen. From the data, whatever collected, he classified. How he classified the traits. This we call it as the structure of the personality or classification of traits. Please remember this. Because he is a scientist name many aspects. So he used many phrases and words. Let us confine to few major classification elements of the classification. First one is the common traits which are observed in many people, contributed or stimulated or inculcated or taught by society and culture. They are common traits. Maybe respecting others, worshipping God. So getting married at a particular age, doing particular marriage in particular manner, behaving in particular way during the marriage. Then there are traits are coming out that they are given by the culture. Now, the unique traits are specific to the individual. Generally, where we find these unique traits are, we find in one's attitude or in one's interest. These will be giving readiness to act. There, how you act readily with interest. You show your uniqueness or specificity, individualized way of behaving or exhibiting that trait will count. This is common traits and the unique traits in the classification of the traits. Second classification is.
So can you also even share your PPT, your slides with us?
I will do one thing. I will share now. So because it will become easy to, yes.
Yeah, along with the presentation, you can your lectures.
Yeah, I am going
Thank
to.
you.
Right.
Sir, please share it in the chat box because few of us are not in the group, WhatsApp group that the others are in.
Okay, I will try that.
Thank you, sir.
Did you get it? Okay, these are what we are
No,
going.
sir. No,
No,
sir.
the
It
chat
was.
box, you will find it.
Sir, please share in the group because once we exit the Zoom, we cannot be able to
We are
access.
in the group, sir. Please post.
I will share in
Please
the group.
post in the group.
I will share in the group also. Don't worry. So this is a concept what we are going to discuss. Now I'll provide the chart. I prepared. Just so you can easily understand the answer. This slide, it takes a lot of time to prepare, preparing separate books. So it will be more useful to you. Maybe board, whiteboard I can use, I think. Somebody already drawing. Adi Razu, please don't disturb, sir.
Sir, not drawing, sir. I was just sliding and it came as drawing.
Okay.
Uh,
You can rub it. No. Okay, please.
Actually, board also only you can draw like that. It is a their option.
Okay, no problem.
Uh,
Wait. Did you get it? Now you see. No, somebody is drawing it still.
that is the reason, sir.
Okay. I will post it in the group. Not use. I am posting this you see, very important. Seeing this, I will explain. You also read that. So because it takes a lot of time, just this slide itself. So now we see there are two things. What is there internally, what is there externally? We told that observable behavior is converted into variables to find out the driving force within us, the motivation within us. That is nothing but the drive. Those motivations within us are causal element. What causes our behavior? These are called as a trait, source traits. Please remember, source traits. Warmth, IQ, ego, exit, all the 16 PF, we will read them. All those 16 will be there here. Initially identified 35 source traits, which are being manifested as our behaviors. So one trait will contribute to many behaviors. Please remember this word. One trait will contribute to different behaviors. So combination of these traits will make you behave in a particular manner. A single factor may drive, a combination of factors also can drive. So there are 16 source factors. We will see them. Next, whatever observable are there, these is 16 are stable, determine the definitions of the traits. Please remember independent, relatively stable, deterministic, very deeper, not visible generally. So we can, to identify them, use questionnaires. So surface traits are nothing but behavioral manifestation. They are unstable. They change according to the situation. Example is low concentration, sometimes high concentration time. Sometimes restlessness, sometimes no restlessness, sometimes decisive, sometimes indecisive, or completely indecisive. This is manifested in terms of symptoms. That is what, whatever we observe, that we make them as a values. Those values are called as variables. These variables are nothing but symptoms of that particular trait. The behavior is nothing but a symptom. Okay. Then combination of symptoms could be syndrome. Whatever is observable here, remember, this is internal, source is internal. Next, this is another class. Third classification, major classification, is how our trait is expressed outside. There are three elements, forces. He classified into three. One is ability, second one is dynamic, third one is temperament. Temperament, you remember as emotions, how they contribute to our behavior, exhibition of the behavior, expression of the behavior or the trait. Second one is ability. Once you exhibit that behavior, how effectively you act to reach the goal. So he says that here generalized intelligence or crystallized intelligence, fluid, and our skills, abilities will contribute to the behavior. So third one is the dynamics, that the force or energy. It includes energy behind our action. Energy behind action or motivation behind the action. Please remember that one. Emotions behind the action. Third one. Second one. Our abilities are third. These three together make us dynamic, make our behavior flowing or acting continuously. So these temperaments are nothing but emotions, moods, they are innate. We get temperaments are innate. By birth, we get them. Temperaments give us speed and action. Why one person acts slow, one other person quick, is told by our temperaments. Then abilities we already discussed, and forces are three types, he told. One is source trait, energy. One is energy. He told that there are 11 traits which are called as ergs that give energy to us. And that energy is given to our sentiments. Sentiments are social. We attach ourselves to family, home, spouse, workplace, religious place, cultural place. That energy is invested here. Here, Cattell gave 5 institutes where we use most of our energy and where we give emotional attachment to the social objects. These are acquired, not inherited. Please remember. These are acquired. Social, whatever we exhibit are mostly acquired. Whatever inside are innate. Whatever inside are innate, whatever outside are acquired. So these sentiments we attach it to our external world. That's why they are called as environmentally molded traits. MEMT. Please remember that. So next one is, this one question will be there frequently asked regarding this classification. Please remember this. So ergs are genetic. They are given by our forefathers or foremothers. These are nothing but our biological needs. They are called as constitutional needs. Ergs are also called as constitutional needs. But they change. They give energy to other two, sentiments and attitudes. Okay, it includes our hunger, sex, security, anger, fear. If you can see, Maslow's hierarchy comes here one way. So you have to just remember that. We will discuss about ergs in the next slide. Then acquired attachments, we related social and environmentally modified traits, just to have seen that. In this, all these sentiments, utmost importance he gave to self-sentiment. How you are attached to yourself is more important among all these. It looks more scientific and looks good also. So socially shared, these are not common. They are socially shared. There are also predisposition. Immediately we act. For this social activity, where energy is coming from, where from energy coming from X. X are nothing but biological forces, genetic. So this X, this gives sentiments. Sentiments start exhibiting our behavior through attitudes. There are 5 attitudes. One attitude, I want to buy bike. There is a need of, say, going safely to the office or workplace. You want to buy the bike. Now you got attached to this bike. That energy is now attached to this bike. I want this. So now you are ready to act. In this, there is for and against also we discuss good, and also you discuss, you internally you will discuss about particular object. Then you act readily. Attitude means positive or negative opinion or behavior towards any object. You may feel good or bad. You're ready to act, don't want, accept or reject. These will be there in our attitudes. The attitude to psychology, attitude to teacher, attitude to learning, attitude, everything there will be attitude. These attitudes drive us. That's why readiness to act is immediately forces us because we are having interest in that. So subsequently, students identified 5 years. Id and just like Freud, id, ego, superego, physiological needs, physiological attitude, and conflicts. He says that id and physiological demand you, ego and superego control you. When these are not in syncing, there is no synchronization, then that leads to the conflict. So that leads to the unrelated behavior. Then that leads to the psychopathology. So he also discussed about psychopathology. There he discussed. Okay. Now the symbol I usually called as incongruence, equal to slash, above that there is a symbol. Okay. When they will become uncorrelated. One is not per other. One is there, other will be acting against it. So these are basic classification. Please remember this. You may get one question on this. Now, what are the X we will see? There are 11 X. Maybe I will post this also. May not, it is not there in the book. Let me see if it is the book. I won't post. X are not there. I'll post it.
So page 216, we have 11 X.
16 also in post.
216.
Yeah, I posted X here. Just one. It is all right. You got the X there. That is not there in the book. This is energy. Please remember. Even Freud also, every personality psychologist gave energy perspective also. Freud also says, Jung also says, mostly every psychologist. So these are the X. By birth we get that. We can see here sex is there, hunger is there, security is there, protection is there. If you see hierarchy of Maslow's needs, you will get here. Second one, appeal is there, curiosity, disgust, gregarious, social, and then anger. Some emotions are also added. Okay, these are the energies. So if you give a diagrammatic representation, X are on the top. X give energy, subset is X subset is sentiment, some sentiment subset is attitude. You have to imagine like that. That is what drives our behavior. Did you get that in the group?
Yes, sir.
Okay. These are the X. So these are the driving forces or energy motivation, major motivating aspects for the source traits. Okay, now we're coming back.
Usha can share the video sir shared in the group also.
A group, you can subsequently you guys can contribute to one another. You may help us.
Sir, I don't know how to share that, sir. Dr.
No,
Nageshwara has
I am
shared.
posting in the group. If you are not there in the group, ask some friend to contribute.
That
No,
one I am sharing, sir.
Okay.
sir
The
just
video,
have
video
sir
I
have
don't
shared
know.
the video. It's getting saved in Zoom itself. So
Okay, yeah, I don't know about the video. Now coming back to the data, we have to classification X you have seen. Now factor analysis, I will post this also. You for understanding purpose.
Sir, have you posted any video, sir, in the group?
No,
That is some student.
I
One
don't.
of us has posted his video, sir.
No. Now you see how factor analysis is being done here. The link also I am giving that. You can read in the book. This is about the factor analysis. You see, there are traits, internal traits are also grouped, and you see first now coming, see the second picture that is there in that. There yellow points are nothing but the behavior we exhibit outside. All the related behaviors or the habits combined and factor 1 is made. Factor 1 is nothing but trait. Similarly, factor 2, similarly, factor 3. Okay, now factors together contributing, factor 1, factor 2, factor 3 contributing to factor 4. Meaning this is called as a type. Combination of traits is called as a type or dimension or super trait. Please remember. Yellow things, elements or components are nothing but the observed variables. After correlating them, identified, grouped them, that group is giving factor 1 that has to be named by the scientist. Maybe introversion, extraversion, good, bad, some adjective will be coming. Then traits, combination of traits gives a type. If you see in the first one, in the factor analysis, trait, 5 traits put together, first two are giving one trait, next two are, one is giving only one trait. That is called as independent. Independent is also called as orthogonal trait. Orthogonal trait. General Viva question, UGC net it is asked. Then fourth and fifth traits combine, and the commonality is there. This is called commonality. That is called as uniqueness. Two aspects are there. Factor analysis, two types of analysis are there. Unique analysis and the commonality analysis. Put together, we get the factor analysis. So again, these three are combined and brought in two traits. These two traits are again called as one trait. This is nothing but a reduction of the data. Either elimination of the duplicates or whatever common habits are there, or the behaviors, repeated behaviors are there, they put together called as a trait. Then different traits, related traits put together as called as a type. Related types put together are called as the dimensions. You get the word dimension also. So there are two types of analysis, factor analysis. One is explorative. Explorative means you don't know anything about a particular aspect like introversion or extraversion, neuroticism. You want to find out, then you will find out observable variables. For each observable, we try to frame around 5 questions and quantify them, and then use this factor analysis, correlation analysis. So then if you are already knowing 16 factor theory, hypothesis is there, personality determined by these 16 source traits, the internal traits. Then you want to verify it. Then that verification process, that means hypothesis there, already you know what factors are contributing. In explorative factor analysis, you don't know the factors, you have to find out. Here we already know whether they are really contributing. These factors are determined personality, you will check it. These two are possible to the factor analysis. Somebody posted. Okay, now coming to understanding factor analysis, we are bypassing now.
So what's the term you use for individual trait, which will come in YY? You said?
That is orthogonal. 90 degrees that will be. There is no relationship. Orthogonal is 90 degrees. One will be against other. So quantitative, this quantity under this factor analysis comes under quantitative research. So variables are identified, and then covariance matrix is prepared, and then factors are extracted from that matrix. We don't worry about it, just a sequence I'm telling. From that, you will do first round of, after identifying the types or factors, we have to extract them. For that, we will be doing graphical with the use of computer application. First round or second round methods will be used. So computerized rotations will be done. In the first round, you will get some elements like 16P. 16 primary sources, traits, we will see what are those 16P. Once you again do factor analysis or rotation, graphical rotation will be done. Don't worry about that. Orthogonal and oblique rotations will be there. Single time you do it, it is orthogonal. Single time you do it, you will be doing orthogonal. And again, second round of verification you are doing and finding out, bringing out and reducing further those 16 to 5, something like that. Then second round rotation will be there. This is about the oblique method. This is oblique method of rotation. So this, after this, there will be naming and discussion with the peer group. This is how the research is done. Now, I will post this. This is not there in the group. Let me post this. Identification, how we identified 16 as rounds, different rounds. Now you see that here factor analysis applied using oblique rotations. Multiple rounds if you are doing, then it is called as oblique rotation. I already told that one. Multivariate, at a time, multiple variables will be checked. How they are related. One is moving in the other, both are moving in the same direction, opposite direction. What is the degree? 90 degree, 30 degree. In terms of degrees, they measure. If that is 90 degree, we call it as orthogonal. If not, oblique. So understand total behavior. He identified 13 source rates that are not that are within us. 23 are normal source rate and 12 are abnormal source rates within us. So his concentration is normal traits. So he further did second round of rotation. In the factor analysis, he came out with 16 PM. Then another round he had done, they are called as second order traits. Then identified 5 traits. They are called as global 5 traits. I will see it. So first order are 16, second order are 5. This is Viva question generally asked. Forget about rotations. This research methodology, you will get it in that book. So how many primary source traits are there? 16. They are first order traits. How many second order traits are there? 5. They are called as global trait. Global 5. 16 PF, global 5. Please remember this. Okay. So what we missed is these 16 are obtained through Q data in the 16 PF scale. These 16, for these 16 he prepared. For these 16 he prepared questionnaire PF scale. What we get is from question live, from not from the live data we are getting the identifying the traits in a person through 16 PF. We are identifying not from the live data or lab test data only from the questionnaire. 16 PF is a questionnaire format. Okay, now we'll see. Gradually we go to 16. What are these 16? These will be like this. This is there in the book. Even then, I am posting it for your understanding purpose. This is more scientific. That's why we need more graphs. Now you see what are the source traits we are getting. One minute, please. Sorry. So here, please see, there is a primary scale in between. That is warmth. Second one is reasoning. We use reason. Then emotional stability. Opposite of emotional stability is anybody? Neuroticism. So unstable emotional behavior is called as neuroticism. So dominance, liveliness, rule conscious, avoid by the very social, norm-oriented, law-oriented. So social boldness, sensitivity, vigilance, abstractedness, and then privateness, apprehension, openness to change, self-reliance, perfectionism, tension. These are 16 primary source traits. They are measured. When measured, it is bipolar. There is a spectrum. Please see on the top. When you use the questionnaire, we try to find out where you are standing from 0 to 10, where you are standing. If you are below the negative side, means below, say, middle point, we call as a low range. Above middle point, we call as high range. What if you, in the scale, if you get in particular scale, I will send, you can freely do it online. You will get this graphical presentation. As it is, the scale comes to your email. There, how is your warmth? If your rate, your score is below midpoint, then it is low range. That warmth, we call it as reserved person, impersonal person, or distance person. These are the traits within you. These are the traits, these are the behaviors or externally observed variables. If that is above midpoint, then you are having high score. High score on this particular trait, you will get that means you are having these as the behaviors or the variables or the habits. This is warm-heartedness, caring, attentive to others. This is how, that means in the 16 PF, there are 187 questions. There are few questions on warmth. From those questions, you will get the score of, raw score will be there. There will be standardized 10, from the 10 score standardization will be there. Standard 10 standardization is there. That is a part of research methodology. From the standardization, you will get the value. From that value, you will get the graph. From that graph, there will be left side or right side. I will show you. Okay, this is how we have to understand. For each trait, either you will score a left low score or right high score, depending on that what type of behavior you are having. Routinely or consistently, you exhibit that behavior in the society to yourself, is told by this. There is no disease point of view or psychopathological point of view is there. You have to remember. Okay, there are why named A, B, C, D, E. They are all from these are all from the 3 domains you are getting. Q data is nothing but questionnaire data. Here you see it, and there is no L data. So because this questionnaire won't get the life data of how you behave in the hospital, school, college, that you are not asking directly. That's why he left them. D, J, K, P are not there. This notation is not there in this. Generally, it is asked in the UGC net. Why? What are the missing alphabetical notation in 16PF? Why? Okay, now these are 16PF, you know. We'll go to next slide. Please remember, this is very, very important, highly used scale. I will send you shortly.
Sir, but in the textbook there is no K element, no sir?
Yeah, there is no.
No K element.
No, I
J,
don't.
J and K element are not there.
We are
P is
there
also not there.
because we are not measuring live data in the. But please remember, the question is in the 16PF scale, these are not used. But to do research and identify the traits, you use the data, live data.
But what are the traits which are resembling J, K, and P, sir? Because D they have given.
There are live data like your name, date, birth, age, gender, all these demographic, as well as some things like what is your birth order, what is your school's scoring, how you behave on the road. This type of life specific data questions are not there in 16. But to identify these traits, you use that of all the subjects in his exam. That is the difference. In 16PF, there are no live data questions. But to do research, factor analysis, you use live data. That is major important point you have to note. Next, we'll go for the 16PF we have seen, we bypass it. So ultimately, once you know 16PF, others also started
But
developing.
without having live data factors, how he has included live data as one of the.
Live data used for research, but not for the questionnaires. Questionnaire for scale development. In order to identify your personality, developed a scale, 16PF scale. In that scale, there are no questions of live data. But other questions are there about your behavior. For research, you use live data, but not for the scale development. Okay, now coming to he developed a scale that is there in the book also. I'm not posting it. There is a very scientific and very difficult to understanding also. So he used two variables here. One is situation, another one is the internal trait, which are innate, more or less. So these are framed into a questionnaire. This questionnaire is R is equal to response. You see in the book, page number 218, Kurt Lewin developed a social psychologist, father of social psychology. Kurt Lewin developed a similar equation. He extended that. It looks like he extended that one. Response is the product of situation factor and your trait score. And there will be weightage given for each of these combination, especially to the trait. From that equation is that, and we try to predict the behavior. This is for prediction of the behavior. Okay, this is also called a specific equation developed by Kittel to identify or forecast the behavior. By observing different people, he developed this one. It is highly scientific. It is just to mention that these points, that is enough. Then personality development, as we came to personality development. So he says that similar traits refer to same dimension across the life stage. All life stages, we use same dimension or trait type, like introversion, extraversion, neuroticism, openness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, that such thing will be there. Same trait contribute to differently to different people. Intensity of same type varies. Intensity varies from age to age. In the childhood, anxiety is more in the adolescent. less in the adulthood. So intensity varies. Development and personality influenced by two factors. One is hereditary and environment. More or less, every scientist told that. So if hereditary contribution is more, then they are inversely proportional. No negative correlation is there. So environmental factor will be less. He named it as a law of coercion. So stages of development, he gave 60 stages. In that, he gave more importance for the adolescence. This is there in our book also. So age of, because it is age of curiosity, that's age of curiosity and identification happens during this period. He gave more importance to the stage of. So I will post this in the group. Easy to remember. So easily you can see in the group. What it says, infancy, mostly about training of toilet training, formation of ego, superego says, up to 6 years, superego also forms. Social attitude of lad. In the childhood, that is 6 to 14 years, he tries to be independent. So he wants to initiative and autonomy. All those we discussed in the social-psychological development. Adolescence, 14 to 20, conflict with about independence with the family will be, parents will be the self-assertion and sexual orientation starts here. Maturity, 23 to 50 years, satisfaction with the career, marriage and family, he notes in this. Then late maturity, use not as adult, he did not use the word adult, late adult and adult, but maturity and late maturity. Then in the late maturity, personality changes in response to physical social circumstances. Above 65 years, adjustment to class of friends, wife, partner, life partner, career, and status. This is not much important. Very general statements are there in this. So, coming back to pathology. Psychopathology is also discussed in the group. So, quantitative psychoanalysis used. What is psychoanalysis? Quantitative psychoanalysis used quantitative approach. What I told you, factor analysis. So you focus on the conflict here. How the conflict? Conflict are maladjustments or conflict. How the conflict comes? I told you in the attitudes, the classification of traits, in the attitudes, in the dynamics, attitudes, where you will find readiness to act. There we found out 5 traits, 5 attitudes. One is the ego, superego, physiological and conflict. Conscious, id and superego control us. That's why we call them as conscious and integrated attitudes. So physiological id want immediate satiation irrespective of norms and rules and values. So that is called as unconscious and unintegrated attitudes. When there is conflict between these two, then the id and physiological changes, forces, attitudes causes you fantasy and move away from reality. What is removing away from reality is called as psychosis. Okay, this is when there is no congruency between conscious and unconscious attitudes, it leads to maladjustment and psychopathology. Second one is discrepancies of scores of opposite sources. Neatness, not having neatness. For example, emotional balance is there. Stable person, neurotic person. When there is the discrepancy, then that causes the psychopathology. In every aspect, opposing traits will be there. There it leads to the conflict. That leads to psychopathology. Maybe ego weakness is there, guilt will be coming. And pride will be coming if you are successful. If you are failing, guilt will be coming. So this type of, all the combination of all such ratios is put together cause psychopathology. So what his solutions he says are, treatment should be individualistic, restore the gap between the conflicting traits. And solution to that, he gives it. Okay. Now coming back, what are the evaluation of his theory? His contribution is excellent regarding giving the source traits, 16 source traits, further developed by other people. Even Big Five is developed as a competition to Big Five Ocean. He developed a second round of rotation and brought out Big Five, or Global Five. So where he developed to measure the personality, he developed scales, tests. In that 16 PF scale is very important. It is used in the career development, industrial organization settings, personality assessment, and the research. But theory is not widely accepted because it's highly scientific, ignoring the practical aspects and the practical aspects. But the scales developed are widely accepted. So this is, once you do a test, I will show this. There will be three question for every question, three options will be there. Likert scale, three options will be there, like agree, neutral, don't agree. So such answers will be there. We have to give for all 185 questions, all questions. So they will arrive at a raw score for all the 16 values and convert into the standard scores. Depending on the standard score, we will get two graphs. This is bipolar graph. How the bipolar graph looks, I will post in the group. This is very, very important. Please look this. This is how they draw the graph. Two extremities. Factor A, we know warmth is there. Where this person is in the warmth, it is there in the center, means in the medium. There is no problem. For example, if you see the scale of factor F, it is on the right side most. What is factor F? Let's see, any one of you please check. That is already posted in the group. Factor F. Factor F is liveliness. He is highly lively because it is there in the extreme end. So as a gradation is also we are getting. If you see low, what is B? Factor B is very weak. Negative side is there. Low score is there in factor B. What is factor B? Can anybody tell? Reasoning is very
Low intelligence.
low mental capacity. Reasoning is very poor. So that's how this analysis is used in the for the recruitment also, promotions also. Okay. And same thing is represented, which is called bipolar, one extreme, other extreme, from 0 to a scale of 10. Okay, now we coming to other way of how it is represented. I will show you another way of graphical representation. This you can, I will post the link, you can do it. I know you post that. So this
Where
are
we are checking V.
left side, it is a factor B, low score. Linear profile, what I have given, just to check it. Now here also, same thing is represented in more or less in a circular format. Just like pie diagram, it is represented, there you can know it. A value. By seeing, immediately we can catch where is that pink color showing the lowest. Right? So that's how this theory is used. Theory and practical application. Okay, now there is another 15 minutes there. We will start next. Now that is nothing but unit number 23, Ising biological trait theory. This is very easy to understand, and once you know that, so he is born in Germany, but did education brought up and in Britain. So he contributed to, he used highly scientific approach and eclectic approach also. He combined the traits, types, temperaments, and neurological, biological, hormonal issues into personality development, biological and environmental. Mostly the genetical point, he combined and developed the personality theory. is once we know what are the traits we have seen, persistent repetitive behavior wherever is there, specific behavior at a different situation, we call it as a trait. That when combining those traits, we get the type, right? So the type is also a super type. Now we will see his trait and types. Jung also gave, he developed introvert, extrovert, neurotic, and stable traits. 4 types he has given, 4 types: neurotic, stable, introvert, introversion, extroversion. Introversion means always seeing at the inner experiences, reserved, not talking more meditative. Like, so extrovert means external experiences you want, very social and thrill seeker, very communicative, like that. He developed. Then he says that instead of developing 30-40 factors, internal factors, primary forces, it is better to have 4 or 5 in order to understand a person. He gave 3 types. They are called as PEN. P means psychosis. And next one is neurotic. E means extraversion. Opposite is introversion. N is neurotic. Opposite is stable or normal. So psychotism, opposite is self-control or ego control. These are actually 3 only in a bipolar spectrum, in a continuous spectrum. When you do the test, you will get either this end or this end or middle, maybe one side. Then we take a call on whether he is extrovert or introvert, depending on the scale. I will post the photo also, no problem. So next one is what are 16 PF given? They are more or less source traits, primary traits, but on which he developed is further 5 traits. Sorry, 6 traits. He calls them as 3 dimensions only because they are bipolar. One is against the other. That's it. Okay, type personality, as per the Jung, he told that to a pupil. While categorizing people, he called introvert or extrovert. Here, it is a trait, personality trait. It gives a level and a degree of your eagerness or preposition to experience externally or socially, outwardly experience. But introvert. So here it is a trait, there it is a type. That is about person. This is about degree of the behavior. So there are different traits are there, types are there, type theories are there. We are not going to deal with them. One among them, we know in our Indian, there is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. They are also types. Also, earlier I told about Sheldon gave 3 types of personalities. One is endomorphic, mesomorphic, and the third one is ectomorphic. One is muscular, another one is chubby. Third one is the lean person. Lean person is ectomorphic. Muscular is mesomorphic. Meso means muscle. So endomorphic is internal. They are chubby. So this classification he gave. And Hippocrates in the Greek, there are 5 temperaments. Please remember them. One is choleric. Choleric means wild, and they are very cheerful, or angry people also. So very irritable is choleric. They classified according to the fluids in our body. One, the choleric means liver oriented, yellow bile, they say. Irritable is the character, personality. And melancholic is black fluid will be there in the body. We don't know what it is. No, till now, no science could predict it. Then they say it is depression. Melancholic means depression, sadness they see. Another one is sanguine. That means red. Sanguine means red. Red means blood. Blood is hot. So they say they are very optimistic, open to experiences. And that is their classification. 2000 BC. Phlegmatic. There is a phlegm. Our lungs and heart and intestines. There, these people are lazy, calm going, lethargic fellow. And they get the neuroticism. This is what the classification in those days. Erickson picked up these points of irritable, depressed. There are four humor: this irritable nature, depressed nature, optimistic nature, and inertia nature. The humor that they call them as temperament, caloric temperament, melancholic temperament, sanguine temperament, phlegmatic temperament. Okay, ma'am, please mute yourself. So now coming to these.
Sir, can you
No, I'm muting, but again she get activated. Again activating. Annapurna ma'am, please control yourself. Your voice, that speaker. So now we come back. We remove the person we don't know. So I removed her. Okay, now let us see the type theory and trait theory. So now he says that personality theory he gave, depending on the, he is more on the classification of the behavior in terms of trait. That classification is called taxonomy. Taxonomy is classification. How you want to classify, we have discussed earlier. Factor analysis, observer behavior, questionnaire, then evaluation, quantification, and then classification of related, correlated behaviors and identifying a trait. Same thing, he also did it. So then, he tried to find out the hierarchy of the traits as classified by Patel. He also classified, but according to hierarchy, in the hierarchy, there will be below is the repetitive behaviors in a situation. And then that repetitive behavior, second layer in the hierarchy is habitual response. Habitually, same response we are showing. That habitual response in the third layer.
So first we shared the slide, then explain, so it will be easy for us to understand.
That already discussed in the last, I will post it.
Thank you, sir. Sorry to disturb.
This we discussed in the last class, last Sunday. So this hierarchy you can see. Okay, you got the hierarchy there. Structure of the personality, hierarchy of the traits, both are same. You have to write same answer for this. So habits will become trait when repeatedly behaving. These traits are nothing but he has taken those 16 kettle source traits. Then above that there is type, combination of this. What is extraversion characters we will see now. I will post that also. So this is how we get the hierarchy of the traits. Repetitive behavior become habit, habit become trait, trait related traits will become type or dimension of the personality. They are internal. They are not directly seen, but observable through behavior. So next is, so how that is done, this also I will try to post it. So you can easily remember. If the disconnection happens, we will continue the same in the next class tomorrow. Okay. So if you see this slide, specific response to situation at different situations, you got that specific situations, you got about different combinations, see, and the next above frequently recurring, that will become response. That frequently intercorrelated set of habits become a trait like stability, sociability, impulsivity, activity, liveliness, excitable. These are the traits. Combination of these traits give a type or a dimension called as extraversion. Please remember point here, impulsivity. After 10 years, he developed another, modified the theory. Impulsivity, he pushed into psychosis, psychotic personality, psychoticism. Impulsiveness is not there in extraversion now. Please remember that. Okay. So extraversion, introversion, how he prepared his three-dimensional model, I am posting now. Three-dimensional model. Please observe this one. These characteristics are also already there in your book. Need not worry about, but three the classification. Personality dimensions. These are called as personality dimensions. In these personality dimensions, he identified extraversion, introversion. The way you please remember psychoticism, extraversion, neuroticism. Neuroticism not same as neurotic personality. Neuroticism is different. This is about the dimension. So that is about the disease. So neuroticism, extraversion, and psychotism, model. Psychoticism opposite is ego control. Psychotism is lack of self-control or unstable ego control or self-control. Control is not there on your behavior. This sense. Next one is extraversion, introversion. Extraversion means you want more sociability is there. Introversion is more reserved. Why? They want to see, they are having preposition to internal experiences. Here, extraversion, external experiences. Then emotionally, one is stable, consistent behavior is shown, that is stable person. Unstable is there, that is called as unstable emotional or neuroticism. This is how he classified. He calls them as three dimensions, but positive, negative side of it in a bipolar measurement, there are only three dimensions. In practice, there are 6 dimensions. So I will post that one, that slide. Okay. Now coming to structure of extraversion, neuroticism. So here in this later, he removed that one. I am posting that one for the clarity. Don't worry. It is very clear for you. You can read later also for clarity. Now you see, this is third model. Earlier he has given only 2 dimensions. That is, psychoticism is not there. Psychoticism added later. So now you see in these dimensions of extraversion, there is no impulsivity. This is the latest version. These are the characters. Are there? Psychoticism, neuroticism, extraversion are the dimensions of the types. Type having multiple traits. These are second layer. Whatever the arrows are shown, social, lively, active, these are all traits. Each trait is having different behaviors. Active, for example, socially active, domestically active, with the friends active, social events active, cultural events active, that is called as active extraversion. Like that, there are different behaviors for each of the trait. For dimension, there are different subdivision, that is a traits. For trait, there are subdivision, there are habits. For habits or subdivision, there are repeated behaviors. Oh, so there is a scale to measure them. Then I will post this. When we measure them in a scale, we will get, as you have seen earlier in the 16 PF. Similarly, we see here also. In the evening, I will post two scales of 16 PF and also Erickson's personality in score. That you do it. You can understand. Tomorrow in the class, we will discuss if you have any doubts. It may disconnected very shortly. So the characteristics, just I'm going to post it. Just give me one. So here you have given in the scale, there will be questionnaires, around 48 questions are there. In that 48 questions for each one of the 6, there will be 8 questions. You have, when you score it bipolar, high score, low score gives your characteristics. For example, extraversion, high score, sociability, here impulsivity is there, we have to remove them. And like all the elements of our traits are given here. Similarly, for low score, low social, quiet, introspective, directed towards inner reality, like to live well, ordered life. These are the characters. You can easily read it also. So next slide. Next one is, we will discuss about the scale tomorrow. Causal model. What are the causes? He says that there are causes are the biological, psychophysiological, and environmental. Biological includes psychological, physiological, hormonal, enzymes, and central nervous system, and hormonal system. All these together cause our behavior. That is what he says causal model. He modified his model. In the first model, 1957, he says that there will be autonomous nervous system that is exciting you or inhibiting you. That is what he said. But subsequently modified, gave second model. This is there in the book. Model, and said that it is not the excitement or inhibition, but the arousal, alertness, and the emotional activity that gives you the causes the traits. In that arousal system, ascending reticular activating system in the brain, which gives the neurons will be on and off. They will be giving you alertness, sleep, and wakefulness, consciousness elements will be there in that. So that determines your activity. Especially extroverts are this activating system, reticular activating system, which causes alertness, sleep is more activation is there in introverts or extroverts. Can anyone tell? More activation in the brain happens in introverts or extroverts? Outward seekers, inward seekers?
Introverts.
Introverts, because they are already excited more. They don't want to go further into the society and get the experiences there. For extroverts, this activated system is low. That's why they want more kick. For that, they want excitement. For that, they go to society. Please remember this. Think it reversely. Second one is, these are not proportional, directly proportional. The stimulus, external stimulus is the activation, not always constant. That could be less. That vagaries will be there. Second, in the second model, he says that there will be visceral brain activity, VB activity. Nowadays, it is called as limbic system, emotional center. Because of these emotions, we get the behavior. What are they? What are the brain parts are amygdala, hippocampus, etc. So this is the theory. He had given causal effect from biological perspective. And then we will discuss, time is over. We will discuss this tomorrow. Okay. What is the scales we will put? You try to know it so that it will be very useful from your occupation perspective, also from job perspective.
Thank
Okay?
you, sir.
Thank 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 you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So still link is on. Can we discuss other points on Einstein personality, sir? How it is interrelated with cattles? So can we discuss more on Einstein personality, sir? Since link is on, we can utilize the time.